What was the most ridiculous thing you got in trouble for at school? Reading a book. Apparently the head of history found me sitting on a bench reading across from her office window, intimidating. Ooh. This reminds me that I got in trouble for holding a book. It was a book for adults, so that's probably why I got in trouble. But still. I was upset. I finally started to like books and they said not today. The book wasn't even inappropriate. What book was it? Filing Taxes for Dummies. I got in trouble for trying to take out Clockwork Orange from the library in 5th grade because it was above my reading level. I still haven't read it. I mean, I also wouldn't let a 10-year-old read a Clockwork Orange. There's reading level and then there's maturity level. Elementary schoolers don't need to be reading about. Reminds me how we had an author come to the school to talk about her book to the grade 6, 7 and 8s. It was a book about high schoolers, and there was a mildly sexual scene in one point, so she kinda sheepishly said to us 6th graders, "Don't read my book until you are about 14. Obviously, every 6th grader read that book. Every single one of us. I work in an elementary library with grades pre-K 6. I'll have 2nd graders, 7 to 8 years old, try to check out books from the Twilight series. It's always a hard no from me. Reminds me of when the history teacher said to read any book while he got the work sorted. I chose a book on Stalin since I'd never heard of him before and it was in the room. Teacher got mad that I was reading about Stalin in a history class. This is so funny, LMFAOO. They were only trying to prevent you from becoming a communist, DW. Then why have the book there, Mao? To identify the potential commies who are the only ones who would ever want to read a book about Stalin. I'm pretty sure a book about Stalin generally would make you not want to be a communist. It was PJ day, we were washing our hands for lunch. I accidentally got a little water on another kid's sleeve. Teacher flips out how I ruined the kid's expensive pajamas. The kid didn't even care. Did she think they were dry clean only pajamas? Whatever the case, it made waves. What are you talking about? I don't see the teacher's point. Yay, she sounds like a real drip. Algebra teacher yelled at me for asking for help. He told me, "Don't ask me. Ask your partner first." Then I turned around and asked my partner for help. He then yelled me at again, "Don't ask her. If you need help, ask me." This just confuses me. What was even going through that teacher's head? An overwhelming amount of nothing. Just a smooth breeze through a never-ending nothing. Edit. Saying static instead would have been funnier. Did he divide by 0? Washing my hands wrong. My kindergarten teacher didn't like that I flicked excess water off my hands before reaching for the soap. She kept me there for a while until she finally gave up on me. Psycho. My pre-K teacher yelled at me for yawning after waking up from nap hour. She said sleep isn't supposed to make you yawn. She dumb. That's why she's teaching pre-K and not something with older kids where you get paid more. I saw a dust devil for the first time and said, "What the?" I got in trouble for it. The teachers said, "You could have said a bad word but I didn't, get over it." I wolda say okay then you. I was in kindergarten, wolda added to the shock factor, lmao. I doodled on my jeans in 10th grade and the assistant principal literally pulled me out of class and called my aunt to come get me. When she got there, he just started going off and pointing to me with "Look at what she did." My aunt just rolled her eyes and said she's 15, "I don't know what you expected." Oh man, I forgot about art jeans. I had a pair that me and all my friends drew all over in Sharpie and pens. They were awesome. I wore them until they literally fell apart. You guys use jeans? I had a bunch of Sharpies and let my friends just draw on my arms. Me too, they just grab whatever's closest and draw something up my arm. It usually end up being almost a complete sleeve. Needing to use the restroom. Some teachers are straight crazy. Can I go to the bathroom? May I go to the bathroom? No, because I want to go. There was a teacher that picked on this boy because he couldn't speak proper English and she would always say it's May when he asked to go to the restroom. She did this on April 30th and one of my friends said actually it's still April. I loved it. I had to read that 3 times, but I get it, lmao. Same. For rolling my eyes. Teacher shouted at me in front of the whole class. I didn't roll my eyes. My cousin is a goof, and while his face is nicely proportioned, his eyes are a little large, and he has very expressive eyebrows. His teacher once called my aunt to complain about the faces he makes at her. My aunt's response was, "Don't look at him." I like your aunt PFFF. Saying hi to the vice principal. I had the same thing happen to me except I wasn't one of the students. She popped up with some crazy excuse that because another teacher had done something I needed to watch myself. This was my third day on the job. You can bet I didn't talk to that crazy ever again. Do you teach art? Witchcraft and basket weaving? One time I was talking about how I went hunting with my dad over the weekend, and the school made me talk to a counselor about it. I had to talk to our school counselor a lot. A kid I didn't like got into a lot of little riffs with me. For some reason they latched onto my parents getting a divorce and me living with my dad for my bad behavior. That kid was just a dick and my parents getting divorced was a great decision. I never knew why that was so hard to believe. Stupid lady with her giant fake shiny nose. My aunt was a high school counselor. She was certain that I shaved my head when I was 14 because my parents were divorcing. I'm almost 40, and my hair has been longer than 1.5 exactly one time since then. It's always funny when people think something is just a phase, but then the phase never ends. I once got in trouble for scratching my ear in second grade. She thought I was plugging my ear while she was talking. Even when I calmly explained to her that I wasn't. This reminds me of getting yelled at for talking on a cell phone during lunch break because it was cold and I had put my hands on my neck for warmth. Once, my 5th grade teacher yelled at a good portion of the class for shivering. We were on a field trip and had been walking outside for 30 minutes. It was maybe 35 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and we weren't allowed to have hats or gloves. So yes, we were cold. Not in trouble, but I got called down to the dean's office cause a girl was really into me, and I wasn't about it, so he called me down to tell me not to make it weird for her. When I was in 9th or 10th grade, I threatened to light a kid on fire when he tried to touch my dot pen. We both got in trouble. I wasn't particularly outgoing or popular, but every girl in the SCHOOL 6 to 12 magnet had a rally thing where they got together in the FORUM, basically a huge room in the middle of the school beneath the stairs and stuff, during lunch, and started telling stories of being harassed and assaulted in school and how the teachers reacted or didn't most of the time. Parents showed up. It was a fiasco. Nothing changed though. I dropped out junior year. Always gotta love that school system. All the girls. We were harassed at your school while under your supervision. Teachers. Okay, but can you please get back to class? So I was the good nerdy kid in school. My sophomore year we had a new principal and she saw some video that showed a guy with 12 guns hidden on his body. The new principal made a rule that your t-shirt had to be shorter than your fingertips at your side. I'm a small guy so all my shirts were non-compliant. So long story short, I was sent to in-school detention for the first time in my life. Some video that showed a guy with 12 guns hidden on his body. That was just stupid. I saw that. The guns had to weigh at least 30 pounds, none of them would stay put, and he'd clank when he walked. Loved that one. Let's see him walk with all that hardware. Unless he gets wheeled in Hannibal Lecter style on a dolly, he'll be lucky if he doesn't just sound like a toolbox falling down the stairs. Half the guns would slip out and clatter across the floor, and the other half would quickly follow as soon as he tried to bend over. What's the video? I'd like to watch the stupidity.